In today's video, we're going to be talking about Rockstar releasing an update before their next game comes out, a mobile version for GTA 5 officially releasing, more supercars coming, and a whole lot more, and all the questions that you guys had for me. So as always, if you want to get involved in the next Q&A video, all you got to do is go down in the description, follow me on Twitter, and just be sure to use that hashtag AskBoss whenever I'm looking for Q&A questions, and you might find yourself featured in the next one. But without the way, let's jump into this and let's get it started. Our first question today comes from Ben, who says, "Hi Ross, do you see us getting a mini DLC or maybe a new treasure hunt before RDR2 releases, like how Rockstar created the dispatch missions out of nowhere?" So let me explain that a little bit. As far as the dispatch missions go, Rockstar did that with tunables. They didn't do that by releasing like a new title update. So that was something they created out of thin air, you're right, but they did it with old existing assets that didn't require a new DLC. Something like a new treasure hunt would require a new update, and obviously something like a new DLC that had more cars and stuff like that would require a new update as well. I certainly think it's possible, given the way Rockstar has been releasing the content recently. Although I can imagine that might slow down a little bit considering we're about to run out of new vehicles. Although we're going to be talking about that in a little bit, so maybe that is or isn't the case. I'm not sure. I think it would be nice, and yeah, I still think there's a possibility we could see an update. Probably not in September, maybe in October, but that of course is me being optimistic. I'm not expecting Rockstar to do that. It would be nice, especially if it was an update that had a lot of like really cool vehicles to collect. But I'm not getting my hopes up for it, but I'm certainly being optimistic, that's for sure. Nabster says, "Do you think that Rockstar will officially release a copy of either GTA 4 or GTA 5 for mobile devices like iPads or iPhones?" Probably sometime in the future, considering they've done that for their older games like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and Vice City. However, the only problem with that is because GTA 4 and 5 are obviously in the HD era, they might be too powerful for phones. I mean, the reason a game like San Andreas and Vice City can work so well on like a phone is because it's not all that graphically intensive, but a game like GTA 4 and certainly a game like GTA 5 very much is. And it might like cause your phone to overheat or whatever. I don't know like the standards that are required for making a phone game, but I'm pretty sure Rockstar might run into some issues there. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure they would have already done it by now because there's a huge market for mobile games. So yeah, I think they will eventually in the future if they can figure out a way to get it safely and efficiently, I guess, on phones. Melvin says, "Hi Ross, why do you think Rockstar hasn't introduced Michael or Franklin into Grand Theft Auto Online as our business associates / startup? Could it interfere with the timeline? But as we've seen in the past, they always jump back and forth with the timeline." Yeah, I think you're right, Melvin. If you had asked me like 2 years ago, I would have said, well, that's because Grand Theft Auto Online happens before story mode. But as we've heard from like Agent 14 and other references, like it clearly happens in present day. So I'm not sure why. I guess it's because it would technically interfere with the timeline still. I think it would be cool, but like what sort of things would Michael offer us? Like, I'm trying to think what he would give us. The only thing I could see is if he started like a bank robbing school and we like get started with that. And then I'm not sure with Franklin either. I mean, he's just like, before we saw him in the campaign, he was just kind of like a gang member trying to, you know, figure out his life. So I don't know what sort of skill he would give us. The thing with Trevor is he had like his own business, you know, TPI. And that worked kind of well for our online characters. But yeah, that would be cool. I do miss Franklin and Michael, and we certainly don't see them enough, if at all, in Grand Theft Auto Online. Moving on, Fortnite God says, "Do you think there will be a Deluxo Mark II?" Oh, God. So, you know, it doesn't shock me if we do see this sometime in the future, because that seems to be the new trend Rockstar is going to head towards. First, it was Mark II weapons. Now, it seems to be Mark II weaponized vehicles. So if any vehicle was going to get a Mark II upgrade, I definitely think it would be a weaponized one, and it would probably be the Deluxo, like you mentioned. I also think the Vigilante could get a Mark II upgrade because it's like an older version of the Batmobile, not like the modern one that a lot of people know from like the Dark Knight films. So they could easily make like a new Batmobile and make it like $5 or $6 million. There's so many vehicles that could have a Mark II variant of it. And I guess that's going to be the question of the day. If we could get one more Mark II vehicle in the game, what would you choose it be? Would it be like a normal supercar, or would it be like a weaponized vehicle or something like that? Let me know in the comments down below. Up next, Brandon Wall says, do you think Rockstar will ever add mansions or make it where we can completely decorate our apartments and houses so they're unique? So I do think there's a fine balance here. I mean, we're not playing City Skylines or The Sims. It is Grand Theft Auto. But I agree. First of all, I do think Rockstar should add mansions in the game. And number two, I do think we should be able to decorate them to a degree more so than the sort of template style that Rockstar gives us. I think it would be unique, like you said, if you could completely design the apartment interior, the mansion interior, the way you wanted, so that it wouldn't be the same as someone else's. I like that idea. And I do think there's good ideas that Rockstar could implement. Really, it wouldn't be that hard. They have a lot of like the furniture assets already in the game. It would just be a matter of like you getting into some sort of editor where you can drag and drop and choose paint schemes and decorations and stuff like that. I'm sure it's easier said than done, and it's easier for me to say in terms of Rockstar getting this done. But I do think it's something that they certainly could do, and I think that'd be an awesome update. Like I said, are they going to go through with that? I'm not sure. I know they have a lot on their plate at the moment, but I definitely think it's possible. JC the Mighty says, could we see the new Bugatti Divo in a future update? So this would be incredible. So I don't know how many of you guys saw the Bugatti Divo reveal that happened. I think it was like a week ago, maybe a couple weeks ago at this point. This vehicle is incredible. So from what I've heard, that they're only making 40 of them, and you already had to buy a Chiron in order to like get on the list to buy one. So like these are like the elite of the elite vehicles. It basically looks like a souped version of the Chiron. It looks awesome. That's all I've got to say. And yeah, I could totally see Rockstar adding this into the game. Again, the only problem is Bugatti vehicles look so similar. So I think it would be tough for Rockstar to differentiate that. But yeah, that would be an amazing vehicle. It would just kind of depend if they have the update left in order to add something like that into the game. NetherPython80 says, will Rockstar ever release the GoGo Space Monkey Ballista and make the JB700 weaponized? So after what they're doing recently by adding some of these, existing vehicles to the websites and adding liveries and mods to them, yeah, I think it's certainly possible. The GoGo Space Monkey Ballista is one of them. The Space Docker is another one I'd like to see. Weaponizing the JB700 or having the ability to remove the weapons altogether. You could even go that route. Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea, Paul. I would love to see something like that. I think that what Rockstar's doing right now is really, really cool, adding these older vehicles to the website, and they're adding them for super cheap, too. Like, they're not doing the crazy new vehicle pricing. They're like $10,000, $30,000, something that, isn't all that much money and can get you a really cool older vehicle. So, yeah, I think that's awesome. And hopefully we will see that soon, maybe as filler content in a future update. Joseph says, assuming GTA 6 does happen, do you see us being able to transfer our characters over? Because Grand Theft Auto Online has been so continuous, it seems odd that all our content would just disappear. I actually think it's the exact opposite, Joseph. I think they're going to make people start over. Now, I don't know that for sure because this is the first, dynamic online multiplayer world that Rockstar has created. So I don't know how they're going to go about jumping from one to another. But if it's like other games, you're going to reset. I mean, they do that in Call of Duty and Battlefield. And I understand those are first-person shooters, but, I think the same thing is going to apply here because what would the incentive be to want to get new content if you already own everything in GTA 6? So yes, I think they're going to start you over. Some things might transfer, like your character itself might transfer. Maybe even some of your money. But you probably won't start with all the apartments and cars and stuff like that because then again, that goes into the argument, well, what if some of the cars in GTA 5 aren't in GTA 6? How would they transfer over? You get my point. So I think in some way we'll be able to transfer our characters over, but not in the idea of like we'll just jump into the new game and it'll be like normal. There's definitely going to be some building and recreating you're going to have to do. And our final question today comes from Jack. He says, will there be supercars in the next update? I hope so, Jack, because there was not a lot of, number one, supercars in this update. The scramjet was the only one. And number two, there wasn't a lot of normal vehicles in the next or in this update. So really, I'm just hoping in the next update there's more normal, non-weaponized, non-like meme vehicles. Like, don't get me wrong, I think the scramjet's cool, but I want some normal cars, like the Bugatti Divo. Like, add the Divo in the game. Make it like the Truffade, Bevo or something. I don't know. You could just have some made-up name for it or whatever Rockstar wants to do. So I'm with you, Jack. I think there should be more supercars the next update. I mean, I feel like there's been a ton of new ones announced, whether it was at the, Geneva Auto Show or just these individual companies, announcing new vehicles like Bugatti and McLaren coming out with new cars, and Lamborghini just came out with a new car. I think it's the Aventador SVJ. Don't quote me on that, but it looks awesome. So yes, lots of new supercars that Rockstar could add into the game. Plenty of opportunities for them to introduce some cool ones into online. But anyways, that's all the questions I'm going to be answering in this week's Q&A video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating on this video. That'd be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.